Get ready for a conversation about breaking barriers, overcoming setbacks, and empowering women to lead with confidence. Hello and welcome to Women Talk. I'm your guest moderator, Izzana Salleh, and today we have an extraordinary episode lined up. I'm sitting with two phenomenal women who are just driving change, not just in their respective fields, but also in the communities that they touch. Together, we're going to explore how creating safe spaces for women, fostering resilience, encouraging innovative thinking, and empowering the next generation of women leaders. With us today, we have Dr. Mira Iswaran, Senior Lecturer and FinTech Expert, and we've got Madiha Fuad, entrepreneur and a leading voice in the mental health and self-care space. Innovation is something that transforms industries and communities, and both these ladies are doing exactly that in their fields. I'd really love to start by hearing a bit about what innovation means to both of you personally. So let's dive right into your individual journeys. What's led you to become not just participants, but really leaders and innovators in spaces where, frankly, women are often underrepresented, right? What was the catalyst that made you want to innovate and create solutions within the fintech world? Was there like a particular challenge or opportunity that sparked this drive?
Oh, very good question, Izzana. And I think my first motivation towards fintech was the environment that I was in. The environment around me was evolving so much that I felt that I wanted to be part of it, and I wanted to make a change in whatever that was going around me, and I felt that that was something that I wanted to do from that point onwards. Fintech is a very interesting field. It comprises of different types of technologies, AI, blockchain technology, and it's also changing the way that we do our things daily, transactions and also banking. And subconsciously, all of us are using it, regardless of our age, of the time that we're in. The children, our parents, people from different generations use it for different things. And I think that was something practical that I felt that, I want to be in this space and I want to make a difference. And that started me off with a lot of learning in this field and sharing, and being an educator. I think that was the perfect space for me to build myself and, be, an inspiration to others, which I hope I am doing it right. And
yeah, absolutely. I've seen you in the workspace. You are extremely inspiring, and I love to hear that it's in your DNA as an educator, right? Thank you so much, Dr. Mira. Madiha, mental health, as we know, is such a critical issue, especially now more than ever, like we were chatting earlier. And you're pioneering in innovation in how we approach mental health care. What happened? What inspired you to think out of the box? And how do you personally balance entrepreneurship with your leading mental health initiatives? Share with us your journey.
Okay, that's a tough one, because with entrepreneurships, I think it's a given that, being a founder, you will work 24/7 because you're so passionate about it. But for me, why and how it led to that innovation was more about identifying the gap in the market. So as entrepreneurs, typically what we would do is, okay, you need a certain solution to something. You identify whether there is that solution in the market, there isn't. With that behavior and that attitude of, I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the risk taker, I know I can try, if I fail, it's okay, let's just do it. So that's where innovation comes from. It's taking the risk to try something new, even though you don't know if it's going to succeed or not. But you're not afraid of that failure, because it's more of the journey that you go through. And throughout that journey, you'll still learn something. So for me, in the past 10 years being an entrepreneur, it's always switching industries. And in every single industry, whether it's F&B, interior design, now software development, you learn something new.
Absolutely.
And it's always about identifying what is that new thing that you can contribute back to the society.
I really love your can-do attitude, and I've seen both of you in your spaces, and you are leaders in your space. I love the work you do. Both of you have found ways, different ways to innovate by addressing very different challenges. What role does obstacle or failures have to play in innovation? Dr. Mira, maybe we'll start with you.
Okay, failures. It may sound like a negative word, but I think it's an excellent space to grow. I want to quote my dad here, actually, because when I was in Form 5, 17, he bought me this book called Dare to Fail.
Nice.
And I think that book was an awakening for me. I think it was more of he was preparing me to say that, not everything is going to be perfect in life moving forward, especially at that point in time where you're leaving your home to actually be on your own, after the age of 17. And independent decisions were so important and taking accountability for it. And I think failure is just a step, that you have to take to come out stronger. And when it comes to innovation, you look back and you come up with an idea and you think, how is this going to go? You present it, you share it, and you get lots of feedback, criticisms, come back disappointed many times, many occasions. But when you look at your end product, I think you can't be prouder of yourself because you have actually gone through this stages, all right, which has actually grown you subconsciously. You may not even have realized the level of growth. And personal experience, I think a lot of passion that comes from many individuals, especially women, is from failures. Because they go through a lot of hardship and things are never easy, hurdles, and situations which are very centric to women, whether it's their personal life or whether it's work. Handling it, all right, from a point of failure is actually a game changer. So I think you have to go through this step. It's not avoidable, but you have to accept it and move on.
Nice. It's about embracing the imperfections, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to go for a break, but do come back because we've only just gotten started. Welcome back, everyone. While innovation is key, it's often more difficult for women to break into certain spaces, especially when those spaces are male-dominated. I really love to hear from our guests about how they've navigated these industries and how innovation has played a role in you overcoming these barriers. What has been your experience innovating in this space, and how have you managed to break through the barriers and establish yourself as a leader?
I feel that in a space where, there's a lot of males, maybe being STEM or FinTech or some other fields, we have to learn that we have to make ourselves, put ourselves in a position that we work with them to come up with a better outcome. We have to bring that spirit into discussions, that you need a male and a female to actually come up with a good outcome, a decision, a strategy, which can actually move an organization or a decision forward. So I would say that when you are sort of minority, and you want to make yourself more prominent, you have to be part of the discussion and understand their point of view before you might want to make a suggestion. And you got to make them understand that why your point of view is so important, that the outcome needs, to have this collab, between these two decisions. So this doesn't take a short time, I can assure you that. It takes a very long time to do this, and it takes a lot of situations where your ideas may not be received well at first. But it should not put us down.
It's about understanding someone else's perspective and ensuring that there's diversity in that, right? Thank you for that. And I think it's a great segue to asking Madiha, when you're building new approaches and thinking of how to challenge status quo. What are some of the barriers that you've encountered in your journey, and how has innovation helped you solve them?
I think the biggest part of that is, of course, the obstacles in terms of the mental health industry itself. When we're looking at stigma specifically, when you want to innovate or digitalize the current traditional, I would say, service of providing therapy face-to-face, perhaps going to a mental health clinic, yes, there is that part of the community who would prefer that, but at the same time, there's also the inability or accessibility for other people in terms of affordability, distance, location, perhaps a stigma, perhaps not being comfortable to go to the mental health clinic. So in that way, the obstacle was, do mental health professionals want to digitalize their services? Do they want to provide it now online? Yes or no? At first, during COVID, it was maybe, yes, we know there's a need, but we still think it should be done face-to-face because they need to assess, rightly so. But in a context where accessibility is more of a concern, you have to digitalize. So it was about finding people who believed in our mission. Yes, we believe in accessibility, we believe in affordability. Let's try to digitalize the service and see if we can reach out to more people. And that's where, when you provide a service that is digital and where it's on demand, you will see people using it. And that's where we've built up that whole mental health professional, nutritionists, coaches on the platform so that it's more accessible. So obstacles, yes, at first when you're trying anything new. So for any other entrepreneurs out there, if you're exploring any new service in any industry, trust me, it will be difficult in the beginning, but just keep going. Try to find a pivot, but the goal is still there. So always focus on your end goal and just find ways that you can reach the outcome.
I love that. I think you're checking all the boxes when it comes to the topic of innovation. Thank you for that. And speaking about going completely digital, I know Dr. Mira's got this amazing initiative called DigitGal. Could you share a bit about that, please?
Definitely. Now, DigitGal actually stands for Driving Girls in Technology, Growth and Leadership. So you can see that there's an element of digital in it, and there's an element of women and girls in it. So I think it's an excellent name. It serves its purpose, and basically DigitGal is a space for women to feel more confident. It's a platform that we have 4 pillars actually operating out of it, which focuses on STEM, fintech spaces where there needs to be more women involvement. It also looks at mental health and overall resilience and well-being, and also entrepreneurship and sustainability. So with these 4 areas running and having educators and reaching out to the younger generation, and being a role model and making this younger generation understand that it's actually challenging to be or get yourself into these fields or these spaces, but how do you retain yourself? How do you stay? There are going to be many situations, that you might want to exit due to changes that happens, especially in a woman's life, transitioning to more responsibilities, areas which they have to be set aside, perhaps their career, and focus on. So as challenges come along, face it, take it on, and move on, forward with it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mira. I feel like we should all join DigitGal as
Me
well,
too.
right?
I want to join.
I want to join.
Please
Thank
do.
you so much, ladies. More on this discussion when we return. Welcome back, everyone. So ladies, we've touched on your personal journeys and the barriers that you've had to overcome, but I want to shift a little bit to the broader picture of how communities, especially women communities, how it's key to driving innovation. Both of you are paving the way in different fields, as we spoke about, but let's dive a little deeper into how we can keep that momentum going for women in STEM, fintech, mental health and beyond. What's your advice for young women?
There's a lot. I would want to give a whole list.
You need to write a book.
I know, but If I was to say one thing where if they want to go and innovate something new, it's always just take the risk. I think oftentimes when we think about women, or in general, when you're exploring something new or going into a different comfort zone, we're scared. We're scared because we're afraid what other people might think. We're afraid whether we will get the support. We're afraid that we might fail. We're afraid that, you know, it's something new that we've never learned before. Tell you a little secret, my background was in journalism. I did a restaurant, a cafe. Did I know how to cook? No, but you just do it. Did I know how to manage staff? No. Now software development, learn on YouTube, UX, UI, so trust me, you can learn anything. If you want to innovate, create different services, all you have to do, ChatGPT. Did you hear that?
ChatGPT. Loud and clear.
A lot of different systems, processes, YouTube, how you learn Figma, all those kind of things. You can learn how to develop these skills really easily. So it's about taking the risk. Don't be afraid. If you have those negative thoughts saying that you can't do it, you don't have the background, cut them out. Trust me, just try. If you fail, you learn. So that's about it.
Amazing. That's great advice, and actually quite in tandem with an earlier episode we had. It's about taking risk, and women are often not associated with taking risk. So I love the continuity there, episode to episode.
I feel that the first step has to come from the girl from within, that intention. Now, I never thought probably when I was in uni, that I'll be sitting here talking to you ladies, in this interview. And I wouldn't have thought that I would have been confident enough to do it.
Interesting.
So at that point, probably a lot of things in your life would have not allowed maybe exposure. And like I said, it has to come from within. You need to not be the backbencher. You need to come in front. You need to be part of things. Now, I'm going to share some observations that I notice, especially in education. Girls tend to put in a lot of effort when it comes to projects, when it comes to tasks, all right? But when they are required to present or required to speak about it or required, like what Madiha said, to be assessed on it, that's when the problem starts. They shy away or they push their male friends in front and say, you go, you do it.
Always a second liner, huh?
Yes. A lot of times. I wouldn't quote everyone on this, but I would say majority of the time. And there might be some situations that are actually causing this, but like going back to what I said initially, it has to start from you. If you want to do it, all right, there's always a way. I always looked at role models, individuals. You don't have to achieve what they achieve, but they are good benchmarks for you. Teachers, individuals that you work with, leaders, managers, any kind of individuals. They can be just simple people who just teach you simple things in life. Your grandmother, for instance. Now, these are little things that you need to feel as a woman that, hey, that's a good character. I want to take that upon myself, and I think I can do better, and it has to start from you. And support system is not something which is going to be, just there. You have to create that support around you.
I love that concept of role modeling because I think we've all spoken about it before. If you can see it, you can be it. Speaking of role models, Madiha, how can families, your first direct community, how can families help in maintaining these spaces to ensure that women in general, partners, mothers, daughters, sisters, how can they have the opportunity to innovate?
If I was to give one advice or share something that I've observed is for families to really just support women, girls, even mothers, whether they're going back into the workplace, support them and really encourage them that, if you're struggling, if you're failing, it's okay, give it a shot, whatever it is, we're here to support and really provide that kind of advice or comfort or just someone to talk to. So I think it's normalizing that conversation and not making it like more of a, don't do this. This is more of a male-dominated industry. There is no such thing as a male-dominated industry in this day and age. Women can do exactly what men can do, whether it's in science, whether it's in finance, whether it's in software development. So I think that's the kind of conversation that we should look at.
Amazing. So what's the beauty behind embracing curiosity, staying resilient and taking risk?
Curiosity is such an important word. Sometimes we feel that we want to know everything that is about to happen to us. We have that expectation that, before we embark on something, we might want to be prepared for it. No, curiosity is the one which will take you to spaces where you are not sure of. It's okay to be in those spaces that, you're not sure how is it going to go. I think innovativeness actually comes from there, because when you're curious, you're creative, you come up with creative solutions to things, and then eventually you will realize that you actually came up with something, because innovation is something which might just be part of your everyday life. You might be innovating something that you
And
don't
it should be, right? That's where solutions come.
Curiosity, resilience, and risk. All those things require you to move out of your comfort zone. The fact is, innovation or trying something new is the way moving forward. And if you don't embark on that, then how are you going to feel like you're living a purposeful life? It's about creating something new, something exciting. It's about engaging with different people. And the risk is the part that is the most fun part, even though it's stressful, but it's fun.
It's fun. I think you've encapsulated the episode perfectly. Ladies and gents who are watching, whether it's fintech or mental health, is a drive to create change, to lift each other up, and to imagine a future where women are leading with confidence and creativity. That's it for today's episode of Women Talk. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And remember, you belong in this space. Don't forget to follow Women Talk on socials at Women Talk TV3 and at TV3 Malaysia. My name is Izzana Salleh, and see you again next time.